Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and we're back with some more SFO Grimhammer showcases for the newest patch, which is going to drop in its beta form on June the 3rd, known as the Land of Wealth. This is focusing around campaign changes. We've had a number of videos on that already, but as always I need to tell you that this is coming to beta, so everything that you do see in this video is subject to change by the time that the full release happens, and if you have any thoughts and criticisms, please leave them in the comments below because the SFO team will be checking out these videos and maybe things change. In this video, we're going to focus around the forces of KHORNE, specifically SKARBRAND, which admittedly, vanilla has been very kind to KHORNE, so not a lot of changes are coming in, but there's some very nice changes in general which will make your campaigns a little bit more fun. So let's start off with the changes to control, which affects your melee attack and also enemy miscast chance province-wide. This is pretty good as your soldiers will be a lot better if you're defending your territories, and your enemy spellcasters will be a little bit worse. Mind you, they don't really affect you too much as it is. Now, the best thing about this is that high control through multiple areas will increase your post-battle loot faction-wide, and we know that KHORNE's economy is, not great, let's just be honest, so you want to get into fights if you want more money, and this will make sure that you have your coffers overflowing. Portal Stance for KHORNE now provides plus 5% replenishment rate and plus 25% ambush defense chance. Very useful considering that you will be using that as your main form of recruitment, so you still have a decent amount of replenishment happening, which I feel is very important. In vanilla, you kind of notice it, that maybe replenishment isn't too good, and ambushing, well, it can be a bit of an issue. I imagine it'll be a bit more of an issue when Immortal Empires hits, because, you know, Skaven and all that, but until then, any little bonus like this does make it a little bit easier for KHORNE. The price for the Skull Throne mechanic has been upped to 3,000, up from 2,000, however, it also increases plus 5 control, so it's going to be much more useful to use it a lot more often, and you still get a lot of benefits. It's expensive, but let's be honest, it doesn't really take that long to get skulls because, well, you know, if you want skulls, just get into combat and you're playing KHORNE, so you should be getting into combat quite often. There have been a few changes to the income buildings, that's your infrastructure stuff. For example, the favored income chain, the income bonus has been lowered but changed to province-wide, which is beneficial for you as that means that you can get a bit more money as you progress. The control building has had the control effect lowered, but added income, so there's a little bit more help there. So in general, when it comes to this, you're getting a few nerfs but a few bonuses, so it does balance out fairly well, and you will get a little bit more generic cash flow coming in as KHORNE. KHORNE has access to a new building, which I find to be quite good. It increases campaign movement range, line of sight, reduces units upkeep, and lowers other corruption province-wide. And if enemy armies start attacking you, so if there's an enemy lord there, these effects are doubled. This means that keeping your borders secure is going to be very easy for you, especially with how the Khorne armies work, so you're going to be able to get into combat quite quicker, you're going to get to your enemies quicker. I feel like this is going to be quite beneficial, because let's be honest, in most cases you're moving your armies out, and out, but should you get attacked through the side or through behind, it's going to be a bit difficult, and I'm imagining this will be more in line for that of the Immortal Empires, where we know we're getting a very, very big map, and there's going to be enemies coming from all sides, isn't there? When it comes to technologies, we won't be going over the full list, but there have been some changes. For example, the cost on skulls have been increased all around, but the research time has been lowered. Skulls shouldn't be an issue to get as long as you keep aggressive, and the research time being lowered is going to be quite beneficial to you, as that means that you can get quite a lot of buffs quite fast. Now, some endgame technologies have received some small buffs, but I'll allow you to discover that in your own time when you play as SKARBRAND once again. Manifestations have had a small few changes. It's mostly just some added effects and buffed with the corruption spread, which corruption is very, very important when it comes to playing as a monogod faction. You might not notice it, but it does help, especially with the eventual spread to how to get buildings and how to get new settlements. So you want to more or less use this a bit more often. Ports have a new effect, which is really, really interesting. This reduces enemy campaign movement range province-wide, which I find quite useful if I attack an enemy area which has a port and then start wreaking havoc there, where they might have a few armies and all that. I imagine that this would be very, very useful when the eventual Immortal Empires comes out again, because there's a lot of ports that we're going to see, and then, you know, attacking Orth 1 and all that. It's going to be quite fun. This just kind of makes me hyped up to see what future patches we see for SFO. So this is a shorter video, and I just want to talk about my experiences when playing through this campaign. Now, obviously, I'm just showing some easy mode footage because I just want to talk about it right now. And I want to say that SKARBRAND is a lot stronger. SKARBRAND is a lot stronger. Mainly because we know that the generic campaign changes have increased your replenishment by 50 if you turn off your tax. And this is so strong for SKARBRAND. It is freaking hilarious because that means that you can get replenishment really quickly. Not only that, but you do have the extra replenishment for getting into battles. So as long as you're really aggressive, you're going to tier up to tier 5 without a problem, and you're going to be able to get all the cool units really early. Like, I must admit, vanilla wise, SKARBRAND is probably one of my favorite campaigns because it's just so different but yet so aggressive. It gives us a different look to Total War in a sense. Because rather than focusing on economy and everything in a balanced state, this is just like go in, go all ham, go destroy everything. And having that extra bonus of replenishment, it does make it a lot easier, I must say. But it's one of those things that you're like, well, maybe I can up the difficulty a little bit. And it presents new challenges because obviously we know that difficulty has new challenges. But it works really well, I must say. I think that SKARBRAND benefits greatly from that. Generally, not a lot needed to change from SKARBRAND because, well, you know, he was just really well done. So I think this is just really cool, and it's just to add in a bit more flavor. But with all that being said, we've got the patch dropping on the 3rd of June in its beta form, so it's not too long. And if you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments below like I said before, and I hope you guys have a very good day.